if you are a researcher who is working on a very new technology, something which is very, very new and not many people are aware of it, well, the biggest challenge in front of you would be to find potential co-authors. You do not have any co-authors, so you want to find a good co-author. Well, instead of looking around in your own institution or in your family and friends, you can actually consult Web of Science. Here on Web of Science, we will show you how to find out co-authors related to your research area, right? And identifying quality journals. So, uh, see, Web of Science indexes a lot of journals which are very good in quality. We have our own quality parameters. Uh, Web of Science belongs to Clarivate Analytics, and we do not publish anything. We are technically not a publisher at all, right? So what we do is we index good quality journals from leading publishers. We have our own quality parameters. Against those, we measure the quality of each journal. And if the journal, possesses all those quality parameters, we index it. If it doesn't, we do not index, right? And then powering rankings. Since most of you are from universities all over India, you would know what is NIRF. So NIRF actively uses Web of Science for for the ranking purpose, right? It is one of the main sources which NIRF consults for making those rankings, right? So that is kind of the proof of the significance of data that we have on Web of Science. This gentleman, Dr. Eugene Garfield, he started with this citation database way back in 1964. He called it SCI, Science Citation Index. I'm sure all of you would be familiar with the term SCI indexed journals, right? So he started with this database way back in 1964, and now we have added more journals to it. So now we call it Science Citation Index Expanded. And SCI is a part of Web of Science, right? We will show that to you in a minute. See, Web of Science is everywhere. What we mean by that is, you talk about any, any kind of person who is in the research field, who is associated with the research field, any persona. For example, maybe a funder. So think of a funder. Funders use Web of Science extensively to decide which researchers should get the funding from us, right? So funders use Web of Science, researchers, of course, use Web of Science.
In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams in YouTube's Live Control Room. We've built a brand new stream workflow in Live Control Room that combines the best of our classic live streaming creation tools, Stream Now, and Events. The new Live Control Room centralizes all of our live creation tools into
department. It can easily be found out. If the head of an organization could be the vice chancellor, and you can identify a lot of things on Web of Science. Moving on, this is the structure of Web of Science, right? So how it is structured is, if you look at the inner circle, we call it the foundation. We also call it the core collection. Within the core collection, there are a lot of indices, right? So you see these segments in the inner circle, the various segments. So we have these indices by the name of, the first one would be Science Citation Index, SCI, right? SCI is a part of the core collection. Then we have the Social Science Citation Index, where all the social science related journals would be featured, right? Then we have something called Arts and Humanities Citation Index, where all the journals related to arts are compiled. We also index conference proceedings as well as books. Many people, are of the opinion that Web of Science only indexes journals. That is not correct. We also index conference proceedings, both for sciences as well as social sciences. We index books, both for sciences as well as social sciences and humanities. Then we have a new index. It is called the Emerging Sources Citation Index, ESCI. Here you will find all the upcoming journals within Web of Science. And they are also a part of the core collection. On the outer circle, you would be able to see various other databases apart from the core collection. So what are these databases? These are basically regional databases which focus mainly on journals from a particular region, or they focus on a particular research area. For example, You have the Chinese Science Citation Index, the Russian Science Citation Index, the Korean Citation Index, and we have added very recently the Arabic Citation Index. So these are the regional indexes that we have. Then we have subject-related indexes. For example, we have the zoological records, right? We have the Medline, and then we have Inspect, which is related to the engineering, which is related to the engineering space. So all these, basically, Web of Science is a pick and choose model. You can decide about this is because Copernio comes free with Web of Science. So if you have access to Web of Science, if your institution is subscribing to it, then you will be getting access to Copernio absolutely free of cost. What you need to do is, once you're on the Web of Science page, just go to Copernio like this. And just add it to Chrome. I hope you can see this. I'm getting questions in the chat window. The difference between Web of Science and H-index is different as viewed on Web of Science and on Google Scholar. I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. H-index is different index all the journals as viewed on Web of Science and on Google Scholar. I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. Will not be H-index is different index all the journals as viewed on Web of Science and on Google Scholar. I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. Will not find H-index is different publications and fewer citations index all the journals as viewed on Web of Science and on Google Scholar. I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. Will not find H-index is different publications and fewer citations as I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. Not find H-index certifications and fewer citations as we already I have already explained this part. See, basically it all depends on indexing. Not find H-index certifications and fewer citations very quality. Even if the journal is predatory, I hope you understand what are predatory journals. By predatory, we mean fake journals, right? Predatory. It will still be there on Google and Web of Science, right? So that is the level of indexing that we do. That is the level of background check that we conduct for every. It will still be there on Google. We are very happy, right? That we do not index all the. That is the level of indexing that we do. That is the level of background check that we conduct for every. It will still be there. If you as a researcher have 100 publications to your credit, then I will not be surprised if you come back and tell me that on Web of Science, you only 75 publications are visible, remaining 25 are not there on Web of Science. Well, the answer to your question is maybe the remaining 25 are published in journals which are not indexed on Web of Science. Hence, not only will you lose out on the publications of those 25 papers, but you will also lose out on the citations which those 25 papers have received, because we will not consider anything related to those papers, right? So in coming back to Web of Science, your H-index will be slightly lower because your publications are less and your citations are also less. And there's nothing to hide. So whenever you are reporting your H-index, if you are applying to any institution or if you are applying anywhere, and if they are asking for your H-index, please specify the source of the H-index. If it is a responsible person who is hiring, if it is a responsible agency, they themselves will understand that H-index can be different when it comes from different platforms, from Google Scholar or from Web of Science. So please mention your H-index is, let's say, 42 or 56 or whatever it is, but please say H-index is this much from Web of Science, right? Then they will understand the significance. And if they do not understand the significance or the difference between these two H-indexes, why it is different for different platforms, then probably you're applying to the wrong agency. If they don't even know these basics, then probably it is not a good institution to join. Right? Okay. Coming back, I was talking about Copernio. You can add to Chrome for free. Copernio can be added to Chrome as well as to Mozilla Firefox. It cannot be added to Internet Explorer. It works only on these two platforms. And what is the magic of Copernio? I will show you just now. For example, see, uh, in this paper, right now, what you're seeing right now, this particular paper, enhanced thermoelectric performance of rough silicon nanowires. Now, this is not an open access paper. Do you see this? I told you that open access, for you get full text available if you have papers coming from open access journals. And in case of open access, I have told you that here on top, you will see the open access information, right? But in this case, that open access information is missing, which means it is not an open access paper. The other condition which I told you is you can still get full text if it comes from a subscribed journal, right? So if your institution is subscribing to this of Nature, in that case, you will be able to get full text of this particular paper, right? But now, ladies and gentlemen, please hear me very carefully. I am not subscribing to Nature. I am actually working from home. I work for a company called Clarivate Analytics. We do not do any such journal, and I'm working from home. I'm using my own personal Wi-Fi. So I'm not subscribing to this journal. But still, you see this option, view PDF. It says PDF found. When I go here, the message appears, PDF found. When I click here, and there's always a wonderful saying here, and then you get the complete PDF, the complete full text. It's just taking time to load. Yeah, there it is. So this is the complete PDF of that particular paper with the references and everything. Everything is given, right? So this has been possible simply because of Copernicus. When you, so I'm coming back to my Web of Science page. When you go here on top and you go to Copernicus, it will ask you to install it on Chrome or on Mozilla, whatever browser that you want to go to, and then you have to install it and make sure that you reboot your computer, restart your computer. Once that is done, any search that you conduct on Web of Science, it will display view PDF, or in certain cases, it will say PDF not found. But view PDF, in this case, Copernicus has made it possible to view PDF even though it is coming from a subscribed journal, because it is able to access the, it has got it from some repository. Right? And the other benefit is, if I go to my full text, which Copernicus has got me, this is the full text which I received from Copernicus. This is actually a legal way. There are many illegal platforms. There are many illegal ways from where you can get full text papers. But I would suggest that please stay away from those illegal platforms. It is better to use Copernicus. And you even have a Copernicus locker. You can save it to your locker, right? You can download the PDF, you can share it, but you can even save it to your e-locker. Basically, this is a memory space allocated to everyone who registers on Copernicus free of cost on the cloud. So you're getting some memory space allocated to your account, which is there on the cloud, and you can save it in your locker. And you can access it from any part of the world. It is there on the cloud, so it will not occupy any memory space of your laptop, right? You don't need any space to save it. It is just saved on your cloud. So that is the advantage of Copernicus. And if you share your Copernicus information with others, your memory space increases, right? So this is it. I'll just show you one more example. So the chances of getting full text increases if you have Copernicus. For example, let me just click on this one. See, full text from publisher. This is not an open access paper. Let me see if Copernicus is able to get me the full text or not. Insert, see, it's running in the background. It is searching. In certain cases, it says PDF found, while in certain other cases, it will say PDF not found. You'll just get to know. I really don't know in this case whether it will find a PDF or not, but I'm just waiting, right? The journal in this case is Nature Genetics. Let's just wait for Copernicus to tell us whether it has been able to find it or not. But what I mean to say is this will always work in the background. It also works, Copernicus also works on, see, it says, keep looking for PDF, it has not found. Copernicus has not been able to find free full text in this case. So in certain cases it will find it, in certain other cases it may not be able to find. But you certainly have a chance of getting full text, the way we saw it in the previous example, right? Okay. Now, many times researchers say that we want all this information to be exported in an Excel, right? Before I talk about exports, there are many terminologies used on Web of Science on this platform, right? Citations and references, and what is highly cited paper, what is a hot paper, open access, and cited references, these kind of things. So what is basically this? I would request that all of you please go here to help. This is the help menu, and the first option is Web of Science help. Go here, and whenever you are looking at the Web of Science help page, there are two options here: content and index. Always go to index because that is a more simpler way of looking at things. Go to index, and everything here is arranged just the way it is done in a dictionary, right? It is a kind of a mini dictionary in front of you. Everything is arranged alphabetically. So if you want to understand what is open access, right, then go to O, and you should be able to find open access. There it is, open access. And you can click here, and open access will be there in front of you, right? This is all about open access. So anything that you do not understand, for example, if you want to look at highly cited papers, highly cited means you have to look in H. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Highly cited. Highly cited hot papers. You even have H index. If you do not know what is the definition of H index, if you're getting confused, please go here. Here you will find the definition of H index. These are highly cited papers, hot papers. Everything is right here, right? If you want to know what is ORCID, you have to Google. You'll get it ORCID. ORCID numbers. So you'll get the basic information about ORCID as well from here. So help is a very tool. Remember to go next, and everything is arranged alphabetically just the way it appears in the dictionary. And anything that you do not understand, any terminologies that you do not understand, go here, you will find all the definitions. Okay, coming back to Web of Science. Now talking about exports. When you want to export any information to any other platform, for example, if you want to export, let us say, all the results on this page. By the way, on this page, how many papers are being displayed? Paper number 1, 2, and so on. If you scroll down, there are a total of 10 papers on display on this page. If you want, you can actually increase this. Show per page. So there's a drop down. Click here. You can show up to 25 papers per page or even up to 50 papers per page. Let me go with 10 only. If I want to export all these 10 papers in Excel, for example, right? So I can do that. Go to export and go to other file formats. Export to other file formats. Once you select other file formats in the drop down, then do you see this small little page that opens up? It says export records to file. Now, all records on page, the maximum limit is 500, by the way. So you can export even 500 records at a time. In the background, you can see 196,000 papers that are there on Web of Science. So from this 196,000, if I want the first 500 records, I just need to simply click here. Right? If I want to export only the papers on this page, even that can be done. So I'm selecting all records on page and then record content. What content do I want to export? There's a drop down, and as always, without thinking, just click on the drop down and see what happens. You're getting various other options. So what record content do you want to export? Author, title, source, or you can export author, title, source, abstract, full record, or full record with cited references. Depending on what your choice, you just select what you want to export, and then the final option, file format. What is your format? In which format do you want it? So again, there's a drop down. Like I said, click on the drop down and then various options appear. Now here be very, very careful. Now, if you have, if the operating system in your computer is Windows, then go to tab delimited Windows. If the operating system of your computer is Mac, right, then select this. This is typically in case of Apple laptops, right? So select this if it is an Apple laptop, if the operating system is Mac, and select this if the operating system is Windows. In my case, the operating system of my computer is Windows. So I just click on Windows and I can export. Exporting 10 records and something gets downloaded here. When you click here, as you can see, it's a notepad, right? And there is some information. Like I said, never read notepads, never. Just select everything and copy paste on an Excel. So I've selected everything and I've copied it, and now I'm going to paste it in my Excel file. So now let me just scroll down. I'm going to, let's say, let me open up another sheet. I'm going to paste it here. Control C and Control V. So all the records, all the 10 records which I exported are right here. Now, these are the 10 records which I have exported in front of you on the Excel. That is okay. But now the next problem is, sorry, this is not shared. Let me share. As you can see, I have just done Control C, Control V, and I get all the records here on this page. And these are the top 10 records which I was selected, which is now in Excel. And all this information is now visible on Excel. Right up to this point. So this is okay. But now the next problem is, everything is now downloaded on Excel. But the next problem is, what do we mean by this? What is PT? What is AU? What is BA? Right? What is the meaning of all these terms in the top row? What are these headings? So here again, just come to Web of Science and use it. Now, like I said, whenever you don't understand anything, just go to help. We already have the help menu here. Go to index. And once you're on the index, what you should be doing is, we call it output field tags. Yeah, output field tags. You see this? Click here and we get the Web of Science core collection field tags. Now, these are the field tags which we just saw. For example, you remember PT? PT means publication type, where J stands for journal, B for books, S for series, and P for patterns. So publication type, first one is PT. Let me go back to my Excel, and now you can understand this is PT. Everything is J here. And I told you, J stands for journal. As you can see, J is for journal. So these are all journals. Next one is AU. What is AU? Look at this. AU means authors. And so basically all the terminologies are right here. You can go through all these field tags, and these are the same field tags, same things. All right. So whenever you're exporting, this is how you interpret this information. Okay. Now let's go back to Web of Science. In fact, it's about time now, and let's go to EndNote, not Web of Science. So if I go back to my agenda, from 3 o'clock, we were supposed to discuss about EndNote. Sir, Dr. Kotz, if you're there on the call, you want me to continue with Web of Science, or should I start with EndNote, sir? Up to you, sir.
I think we should go as per the agenda, because otherwise we won't be able to touch upon EndNote, and we wanted some hands-on experience also on that.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
once we take up that, if we are left with some time, we can again take up this.
Sure, sure. Why not? So let's get back to the Web of Science page. Now, EndNote. I'm going to start with EndNote. Uh, now, what happens is, see, how do you access EndNote? Before doing that, you have to understand what is EndNote. EndNote is our reference management tool. There are many reference management tools in the market today. You have, you must have heard of other reference management tools like Zotero, like Mendeley, like RefWorks. Similarly, we have EndNote. EndNote is by Clarivate Analytics, which was earlier called Thomson Reuters. Okay, so now how do you access EndNote? Basically, you just need to go to the Web of Science page, and here you go to EndNote. This is how you go to EndNote. Click here, and it will take you to your EndNote page. But before you do that, let me come back to my Web of Science page. I told you that registering and registering and signing in on Web of Science is free of cost. I have already done that. See, registering and signing in also helps you in one more way. Of course, you can conduct all your searches on Web of Science without the need of signing in. That is not a problem. But signing in is required if you want to create alerts or save searches or for EndNote. Now I'm going to use EndNote. See, in case you want to use EndNote, it is essential for you to register and sign in on Web of Science. And while registering and signing in, please write down your user ID and password somewhere and memorize it. It is very important. Why is it important? Because when you click on EndNote, see, EndNote is our reference management tool. And like every other reference management tool, EndNote has two platforms. You have the online platform and the desktop platform. Now, what is different between EndNote and other reference management tools is the fact that EndNote online is free of cost with Web of Science. So with Web of Science, you're getting a lot of things free of cost. You're getting Copernicus free of cost. Your master journalist is anyways free of cost, and you're also getting EndNote online version only free of cost with Web of Science. I'm saying, I'm repeating, it is only the online version. EndNote desktop version is not free. You have to purchase it separately, right? So once you are on the online version, then in that case, you can access EndNote online free of cost using Web of Science. It is free for every individual user of your institution. So what I'm doing is I'm going to click on EndNote. Here EndNote opens up. But if you're doing it for the first time, you can open up your EndNote online account free of cost. I'm going to sign out just to show you what happens. Once you are